Our fourth principle is called, and you're going to be surprised, don't try to be great. Okay, wait, what is he telling us? Why shouldn't we be great? Okay, well, actually, the principle is that sometimes when we try to be great, we actually feel overwhelmed. One MBA here at ESA, for example, once said, when it comes to interviews, the gravity of what is at stake often shakes my confidence. And I think this happens, that when we have to make a presentation, we have to go to an interview, we really want to hit, it's like, I don't know, I'm from Washington, D.C., so I'm going to use the baseball analogy. Forgive me, not for using football. But we think about like trying to hit the home run. We want to hit it out of the park, meaning all four bases. And we think about that. We think about like, we want to go give this presentation. I'm going to go do this interview to get this job, and I'm going to just knock their socks off. It's going to be the best interview ever. It's going to be the best presentation, and everyone's going to love me. And we have these sort of delusions of grandeur a lot of the time. And actually, the problem with trying to be great is that what we think about is greatness, right? So instead of trying to be great, what I want to propose is just be consistently good. So in other words, instead of thinking about greatness, just try to do what you've been practicing to do for many of you many years. So go to an interview and just go and communicate, express how you can how you can best do this job and fit with the position that they're offering or with the organization. When you're going to do a presentation, use the communication and presentation skills you've been practicing, and just believe that you have that ability to do it well. And by focusing on being good, it actually, what it does, it's like I don't have to be great. I'm just going to do what I know how to do and just be consistently good. And I think, there's a lot of examples of that. Also, when we think about being good, I'm going to be good, it also means doing good things for others. Being great is about a result. It's about, I'm going to have all this approval and recognition and status and promotion for my performance, right? Those are all results that, I hate to break it to you, you have 0% control over. None. The only control you have is over the process. It's over being good, doing what you know how to do and doing it the best you can. Doing the best you can and knowing that's the best you can do. And just putting in your full effort. Well, that goodness is what enables greatness to flourish and come your way when you focus on just being good. So this example, I think most of you know who these folks are, probably everyone, right? So we got the Beatles. So what about the Beatles? Why are the Beatles going to teach us about don't try to be great, just be consistently good? Well, I think we look at the Beatles and we say that was a great rock band, right? I mean, one of the most famous and accomplished rock bands in history. I mean, it's very humbling for me. Do you know how old the oldest Beatle was when they split up? Paul McCartney was 29. So imagine at 29 years old, you've already created 16 albums, right? I mean, with the number of hit songs, I couldn't count all their hit songs on my fingers, my toes, and probably another 4 people's fingers and toes. I mean, these guys were amazing. But how did they do it? Right? Were they just have this unrivaled talent that made them great? The Beatles were, Lennon and McCartney, they started playing together in 1957. They were just any other struggling high school rock band, right? Then in 1960, they had the opportunity to go and play in Hamburg. Well, at that time, Hamburg was offering opportunities for rock bands, usually from Britain, to come over and play, and usually they played in strip clubs because that was where they had rock concerts to kind of keep the patrons entertained and in between sets and keeping them, the patrons would come in and out, and the Beatles played between 5 to 8 hours every single night in Hamburg, sometimes 7 nights a week. Their song 8 Days a Week, well, came from that. They were playing 7 nights a week sometimes. In fact, it's pretty amazing that in the year and a half between 1960 and 62, when they were playing in Hamburg, they played over 1,300 hours live together, right? And during that time, they had to improvise. They had to play not just rock, but jazz and other. They had to do covers. And imagine trying to entertain people for 8 hours straight. So what's interesting, John Lennon said about this, their experience in Hamburg, we got better and got more confidence. We couldn't help it with all the experience playing all night long. Well, from Philip Norman, who wrote a biography on the Beatles, said, the Beatles were no good on stage when they went to Hamburg, and they were very good when they came back. They learned not only stamina, and then they had to learn an enormous amount of numbers, and hear it all in the quote. They weren't disciplined on stage at all before that, but when they came back, they sounded like no one else. It was the making of them. Okay, so here, as you see above that, I have a strategy that you can also practice, which is, if you build it, they will come. So if you focus on the process, if you focus on just learning and doing what you really care about, and really repeating it over and over, and really focusing on it, eventually the results will come. Of course, this is from the movie Field of Dreams, where this quote, if you build it, they will come. But it's really about, not focusing on greatness, not focusing on the results that you want, but really focusing on the process you're going to put in place to get those results.